again.
Woo!
I'm so sorry you guys are stuck with me on a Friday night. Terrible. Well, my name is Kushagra. I work on the Google Play marketing team. And until very recently, I used to manage apps and games. Been with Google for about 8 years. I've been in different roles, done product management, done sales, and kind of my free school education has been at Google. I've also worked in 4 different offices. I've been in Singapore, in Mountain View. Before that, I was in Tokyo, and before that, I was in Bangalore, in India. I grew up in India and did a small startup there, essentially writing HTML4 web pages, much like you guys are writing apps now. Back in the days when internet was just starting, HTML4 was really cool. Went to college and have been working with Google ever since. Anyways, what I want to do, I'll keep it short. I don't want to take a lot of your time and actually let you guys ask a lot of questions. And feel free to use your phone, right? This is not an important talk.
Actually, can I ask you a question first? How many games have you looked at over your last 7 years of working at Google?
So I was the founding team of Google Play, so we sort of like built the brand. It was funny. But in the last 2 years, since I've been managing apps and games, I've looked at easily over 2,000 pitches.
Wow.
2,000 pitches, big and small. It's a lot of games.
Awesome.
I do play a lot of games, so when I say like I've looked at them, it essentially means that I've played those games and I've looked at like what the dynamics are, and sometimes our merchandising team and our marketing teams are pretty good at telling you like this is going to be successful or not. We're good at predicting hits, kind of our own betting gambling game. Anyways, I just want to talk to you about a small story which I found to be quite amazing and fascinating. I had a chance of meeting a guy. Let's not name him. You should research him a bit. He's from Finland, in Europe. He came here last year and told me his story, and I found it to be very, very inspiring. It just, I was just blown away. Imagine you're stuck in a job where you're putting your heart and soul into building what you really like doing, right? Let's say you like building a game. This guy spent 4 years of his life building a game for a big company, a big console company. I'm not going to say which one. There are not a few. There are very few. As a lot of things happen in these big companies, decisions get made, projects get shut off, and this project was killed. And all of a sudden, he had nothing. His project was killed, and he was asked to work on something else. Will you let anyone tell you that you cannot work on your dream? That project was like a baby to him. He got frustrated like anyone would and left. A couple of months later, of all the learnings that he had, and with all his passion, he released an app. It was a game. I don't know if you have played Hill Climb Racing, anyone?
Yeah.
Oh, cool. It's a really fun game. He released this game called Hill Climb Racing. He looked at the game mechanics. He looked at what he wanted to do. He figured what a lot of others wanted to play and launched his game. Very soon, he had 100,000 users. 100,000. That's one. And how many zeros? 5. Soon after that, he had 1 million users. 1 million. At that point of time, he also started thinking about, wow, I can really make money on this thing. This is amazing. A lot of people like what I'm doing. And he invested more. He took all his time, hired a few people, and with all the help, it actually became one of the most successful games on any platform. It has been downloaded more than 100 million times. 100 million. That's amazing, right? What's the population of the United States?
300.
300 what? 100 million. 1/3 of everyone in the US would have played that game. Of course, like everyone around the globe is playing that. But that's amazing. This tells you something about the power of dreams. This also tells you something about passion. It also tells you something about the kind of emotions that games can evoke. The people, all of you, I can bet one thing, that all of you here are very emotional people. One way or the other, you're very passionate about something that you do. And what I really love about games is that games evoke those emotions. When you're playing game, you can play any game that you want. Either a physical game, you can play baseball or football, or you can play a computer game. You're connected to it in one way or the other. You feel emotions like joy, fear of losing, competitiveness, intensity, anxiety. You feel a lot of different things. When you're designing a game, keep that in mind. Anyone who wants to play that game should have those emotions as well, right? And your job as game designers and developers is to design games which evoke those emotions. That's the spirit that we want to capture in whatever you're trying to do, in game or for that matter in your life. What I'm going to leave you with is a few pointers on what kind of games are successful. Let me talk about this game, and I think a lot of guys will not raise their hands, but has anyone played Candy Crush Saga? Yeah, I like it both. Anyone played Candy Crush Saga? No? Seriously? Oh, okay. Candy Crush Saga is one of the most successful games. I play Candy Crush Saga a lot. I love that game, by the way. But if you look at the game, like what that game about, it's about sort of like aligning 3 candies and they burst and more candies fall down. So there are only 2 gestures in the game. As far as the game mechanic is concerned, the control is concerned, you either can do this or you can do this, right? To move candies around. Now look at the amazing thing that games allows you to do with just 2 gestures. This and this. They have like close to 1,000 levels, and throughout those 1,000 levels, the only 2 actions that you're going to take is this and this. Swipe up, swipe sideways, or up and down. That tells you something about the game. They kept it really, really simple. They made it super simple for the user to come and start playing the game, right? I'm not saying that the games that are complicated, like how many of you play League of Legends? Yeah! Alright. If you are a bad player in League of Legends, the community is going to rip you off, right? But there's a difference between PC gaming and mobile gaming, right? PC gaming is all about you spend hours at length. It's kind of going to a French restaurant and ordering a 36-course meal, right? Mobile is different. Mobile is a lot about snacking. You play a game, you put it in your pocket, you go somewhere, and then you have some time again and you play again. So think about the kind of games that you're going to develop tonight. You're building it for an audience that wants to snack. Don't go about building these elaborate sets of a Maharaja in India or a Bollywood movie. But try to keep it simple. The more simple you will keep the game, the chances are that more people will be able to play it, and the more they will play, the more hopefully they will like it and they like the concept. So how do you summarize all of this? Good games that I've seen have amazing tactical depth. With these 2 simple gestures, you can do so many things. Try to build those kind of games. Last 2 minutes. Games that you play, which I've seen people start falling in love with, actually tell a story